you have been, man. You learn from how to compete and how to adapt, right? Then you go into SI high school, you learn how to, you have to take care of your academics and transfer that skill set to handle your business in the classroom so you can learn, but also you can hoop. But then you come across, again, Coach Matt, Coach Lippy, that's ridiculous, Coach Johnson, right? And then you get in the pro-am. So you're getting these lessons along the way that definitely impact you as a player, but we haven't yet crossed paths yet. So now you're in college, you can meet Mr. Simpson, so you learn the importance of taking care of your body and realizing that, like you say, man, Mr. Simpson's on the money. Tip your hat to him, man. God bless him. The factor of being in shape is in the player's control. You can control that factor. I mean, DNA is DNA. And maximizing it, the key thing is being in great shape. So you're learning that in college, which set the precedent for when you get to become a pro and now become a coach. So
right.
We're going to jump into the end of your college now. So now you got your body right. You deal with the politics of college basketball, which we won't go delve into detail, but you had a coaching change, right?
No.
Was Coach Matthews there all 4 years? You were 4 years?
He was there all 4 years, yeah.
So the dynamics of that, good and bad, right? Impact that.
Yeah, it was good because, I graduated from University of San Francisco, which is in my city. So I kind of stuck with that. Whereas, probably now, like 2000, I would have transferred flat out. I would have just transferred and went somewhere else, and it would have been all good. I would have went somewhere else and done well. But back then, they think that a scholarship is 4 years. It's a 1 year contract. So I was signing my contract every year, and then I had my yearly meeting with Coach Matthews. He said, I'm, recruiting John Cox and Shamel Stolwer, great players. Shamel was 6'6", still playing professional in Brazil. I think he's on the 3-on-3 circuit. Still playing. And I was 2 years older than him, so he's still hooping. Great player. Nice shot. He worked hard. Just good guy, everything. John Cox, 6'5", and can go. Chubby Cox was his dad. His dad can go. Kobe's his cousin. Right, so he knew what he was doing. He's 6'5". He just retired last year, so these guys can go. So when they're saying, "Hey, you're getting recruited over," I'm 6'2". I can go, but if you line us up, you're like, "Oh man, you might transfer." So I just looked at coach and said, "Oh, okay, that's good. I'm gonna work that much harder, and I'll help them along the way, and I want to be here." So that's kind of how it went, and we didn't necessarily see eye to eye, so. Kind of the way I started is not the way I finished.
Sure, yeah. That's just the trappings of a college career. Oftentimes, that coach dictates everything. It can be, for better or for worse. You try to make the best of it as a player. All right, so now you're finishing USF, right? And now, what you thinking?
Man, really, I had a really rough time my senior year, just with Coach Matthews and everything I had going on. Maybe some of it self-inflicted. I missed 5 practices in my career, and I missed 0 games. Right, so that part of it kind of took care of itself. There's probably some things maybe I could have done, or maybe Coach Matthews could have done, but it was like September, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And a good friend of mine, Mike Claxton, we grew up together in Montana. My dad is from Panama. He's black. My mom is from Montana. She's Norwegian. She's white. He had the similar background as me, so we were super tight coming up. He played in college, and he was hooping in Germany. So I had someone, my mentor, OGG. He was in New York. We were both in New York at the same time. He's like, I'm on the phone crying because I don't know what I want to do. I just love basketball. Like, I'm just kind of really going through it mentally at the time. He said, you just got to go with your gut and, do what you love to do. Well, shit, I love hooping. So I got all the money I had together, and Mike was in Germany. So I flew into Dusseldorf, Germany. And Mike picked me up.
You have no contract. You have nothing. You're just flying out to.
I'm just flying out there. So the reason why I wanted to go there is because Coach Lippy in high school, he showed me pictures from when he was in the Army in Germany, and the pictures were of them hooping. So the Army guys used to play these different professional teams in Germany. So Coach Lippy used to talk about Germany, and I had some family from Norway. My dad was from Panama, and I like history and I like geography. And I said, man, that's what I want to do. So I kind of had that in my mind already.
Shooting them dice.
Still shooting them dice, yep.
And then when you shoot them dice, you got to shoot them dice, see what happens, see what's going to roll.
Exactly.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I had it in my mind of what I wanted to do. I just, that was a rough kind of time for me. So I ended up, going out there with Mike, and that's how I got to Germany my first year. So started practicing with his team. It was in a city called Iserlohn. They were in the Pro B, which is called, it was Regionalliga back then. Now it's a Pro B. 19 years later, German basketball is a lot better, but it was first division, second division, and Pro B. So I started off, Regionalliga. I started off in the Regionalliga, played 4 games with Mike's team. Then I went to a city called Crayfield. It was in the fourth league. And then I ended up playing with a second league team. So I lived in 3 different cities and 3 months in Germany. So I went from West Germany, which is highly populated, 20-something million people there, a lot of different cultures. I went smack dab to East Germany. I was like 50 or 100 miles from where Hitler set up camp back in the day. So I was, in that 1 year, I was out there scared.
Hey, man, it's a long way from Portland Park in San Francisco.
Oh, man. I can see it right now. I can still see that city. It was in East Germany. I didn't have any bad experiences there, but all I seen on TV, right, was Nazis and Hitler and East Germany and Berlin Wall. That's what I knew, right? So when I went to East Germany, I was like, man, I better be careful out here. So
it's like riding the bus to get back home.
It's exactly like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the exact same concept. Yeah. The exact same concept.